drinking some coffee, you know,
Yeah.
getting it going.
What time have you got?
It's noon where I'm at.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I know. 5 a.m. for you.
Yeah, brutal.
You're in Australia. Yeah.
Hey, man, that's what sets us apart, man. It's that grind.
Yeah.
You have to keep European or North America sort of timelines, over in Australia.
Say that again. Sorry.
I'm saying you have to do like Europe or North American timeline, hours waking, for crypto when you're in Australia.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everything happens while we sleep.
Okay, so we're just waiting for Satoshi to come in.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. Right, so I'll start the recording, introduce you guys, and we can go into the SquidGrow project. Okay, good evening to the Wellcoin Talk community. I'm your host today, Glenn Jones. Today we have an AMA with SquidGrow. SquidGrow launched on the 18th of June on the BSC. It's got 41 million market cap, 10,300 plus holders. SquidGrow is a decentralized meme project with a purposed utility token created by one of the biggest Shiba Inu whales, backed by a large expanding community. Before we go into the staking, the lottery, and the SquidGrow project, could you guys tell us a bit of a background on the core team? That'd be great.
Start with the introduction. Hey, everybody, I'm Shibtoshi. I'm the owner of SquidGrow. Me and R-Dub launched SquidGrow back in June of 18. So not very long ago. My background is essentially I've been in cryptocurrency since 2011. I first stepped into it with Bitcoin and kind of progressed from there. Just kind of a brief summary, and we can get into depth a little later down the road if wanted. August 1st, 2020, I had a buddy approach me about Shiba Inu. It was a project that he had found. I was kind of hesitant to dabble in it, but I eventually relented and thought it'd be funny to buy a bigger bag than all 7 of my other friends. So that's kind of my SHIB story. Fast forward a little bit, I met R-Dub in a private whale room. We started talking about our views of the cryptocurrency space and where the market currently was, and we decided we were gonna to launch a project together, based on morals and community. So with that said, I'll pass it to R-Dub, and again, I'm more than happy to go more in detail.
Thanks, Shibtoshi. That was a quick one. Yeah, so I'm R-Dub. I also got into crypto in 2011, Bitcoin at that time as well, and had been involved like on and off with crypto over the following years, and really landed in the BSC probably about 18 months ago. Originally as an investor, having really no idea what the BSC was like or what it was all about. And then after probably 6 months or so, I started working for like an elite whale community, just calling projects, promising projects. And then, as Shibtoshi said, I was pulled into a private whale group, which is where we met each other really, and the idea for SquidGrow was born, which lands us where we are today. I'll pass it over to Dan.
I appreciate it. So I'm getting some echo.
If someone mutes while they're not speaking, I think it'll stop the echo.
Okay, there we go. All right, so my background's a little bit of a varied one. I've been all over the place. Went to school for cybersecurity, got a degree in that. I was an athlete in the college as well, played football, track, got into real estate, bartending, multi-level marketing, all sorts of stuff. Didn't really know what I was doing until I found crypto. Immediately had a passion for that. Got into trading, technical analysis, all that fun stuff. Lone wolfed it for a while until I realized that wasn't the best method. And then I found DeFi 2018 with Ethereum, got into the early stages of that and played around with some of the miners and stuff. Eventually got into project management in 2020. That's when I found Veracity, VRA. I was one of their early marketers before they landed on KuCoin. I got into the Inu coins, of course, right after that, like a lot of other people did. Unfortunately, not Shiba, but I did help create Hokkaido Inu and Kishu Inu, some of the more popular ones. I also helped create the first rewards token on BSC that had a lot of success besides Moonrat, which was HODL token. I was in the background marketing Floki for a long time on the run up to 3.5 billion. And more recently, I helped Catcoin get up to 70 million. But now I've had the privilege of working with these guys. And it's an experience like nothing else, to say the least, because of their work ethic and the capabilities of what this project can do. So I'm very excited to get into that with you guys and be here today.
Okay, awesome. Guys.
I don't understand how everybody else's introduction was longer than mine for the very first time. I just figured that, you know, I'm sure they've got questions we'll touch base on later on down the road. So I didn't want to just, you know, answer all the questions from the get-go.
Okay, awesome, guys. And so you launched on the 18th of June, around 6 weeks ago. It's been a huge success on the BSC. 41 mil market cap, 10,300 holders. You've got a huge expanding community. Can we maybe go through the early days? What's been happening for the first 6 weeks at SquidGrow?
Sure. So I guess originally when we launched, it was mainly Shibtoshi and myself at that time, and it's our first project that we had ever launched together. So basically, we were managing everything from the get-go, really. You know, kind of working it out as we went, but you know, it all came together pretty well, I must say, and we've been doing massive days all the way up until today, really, kind of doing, you know, 20-hour days. I don't know, Shib, if you want to tell the original story of the launch or not, but, you know, I'll just give a brief overview. We kind of initially, you know, went through all the traditional kind of marketing using all of the BSC call channels. You know, we've started to do AMAs with all of the call channels as well. We've had things like billboards up and banners, but we've, you know, I think really at the end of the day, the thing that is more unique about SquidGrow is the fact that we have Shibtoshi and his story, which is not something that really has ever been seen before on the BSC, having someone of his caliber with a story like that is just, it's unique. And I think that's what has attracted people to SquidGrow and to our community. So I know that you gave a really brief introduction, Shib, but I think people would like to hear that at some stage as well. If you want to take over, mate.
Yeah, okay. So just to kind of get a little more in depth, something that I think might have been overlooked from the early days. So what a lot of people actually might not know is we actually originally launched on June 17th, and there was an issue within the contract code that was noticed almost immediately after launch. My contract code was coded in November of 21 when I first conceptualized SquidGrow. I shelved it because I was late to the race when the Squid Game token, the scam token, came out, and so we decided to shelf it. But the contract code was coded with Uniswap router in the contract using Solidity instead of Pancake. So for whatever reason, we were actually able to deploy the contract and go live. But there obviously was issues, so we had to suspend trading. And within 24 hours, we did our relaunch. Our initial liquidity was 22.5 BNB. It put us at about 35 market cap. But just to kind of touch base a little more on my story. So as I said earlier, I'm Shibtoshi. I've been in cryptocurrency since 2011. I actually got into Bitcoin first. I had some friends that used Bitcoin for private poker tournaments. online. The currency was Bitcoin to, transfer your money in, transfer your money out type of thing. I first heard about Bitcoin in 2010, back when you could get 11,000 Bitcoin for $10,000. And when I first heard about it, I was sure it was some sort of scam, so I didn't really give it much attention. And then a short time later, I found out some of my good friends were actually into Bitcoin, using it to play poker. So kind of dove into that, and it really just intrigued me. After asking my questions to them and doing some research on it, it was something that I really liked. In between that, the Bitcoin, I've done, substantial investments between then. And one of my very good friends, he was a stock investor, and there was one day that he was bragging about 30% gains in the stock market. And I was kind of laughing at him, in a playful way, just telling him, 30% gains in a year is not great, man. So I started talking to him about cryptocurrency, and he took it upon himself to, start looking into crypto. And it was because of him I actually found Shiba Inu. If I'm being honest, he had a couple other friends that he kind of pulled into it, and they started researching different projects from their private groups that they were in. And he actually started texting me one day about this project that he had found, and I wrote it off because I was like, surely, he's not going to find anything of quality. And that's kind of, initially how I viewed Shiba Inu. I didn't think it was going to be anything serious, especially if my buddy was bringing it to my attention. There was no way. But he was pretty relentless about it, with phone calls and text messages over the next couple of hours. So I eventually started buying into Shiba Inu over the period of a couple of days. After I found out what my other 7 friends that were invested had bought in at, I thought it'd be funny to own more than all of them together. And, almost immediately we were upside down. But what intrigued me about SHIB was the community. It was growing. People were actually rallying behind it, and it's supposed to be this Doge killer. And I'd never invested into Dogecoin for personal reasons. But I thought surely, this coin's not going to really go anywhere. And oh boy, was I greatly mistaken. So over the time of being invested in cryptocurrency, I myself have been involved in scams. Me and the Huntsman, one of my good friends, we experienced our first honeypot together. We found a project, bought into it, and it turned into a wallet ranking war, essentially, where we were trying to hold more than the other. I'd wake up and I'd see that the Huntsman had bought more coins than me, so I'd drop more money into it, and vice versa. We were going back and forth for several days, just buying more and more and more, until one morning we woke up and the liquidity was ripped, and we lost our money. That was the first time I experienced any sort of a scam. I believe that was in 2020, maybe early 21. And through the duration of time, I've had other friends and actually family that have invested into scam coins and or honeypots. One of my other good buddies, I talked him into getting into crypto. He got into a fair launch, no max buy project, and he aped in 50K, and he got scammed, and it almost took him out of cryptocurrency completely. That was his first investment. When he lost that money, he wrote the whole crypto space off as a scam. Wasn't interested in messing with crypto any further than that. I'm happy to say that he's currently invested in a few cryptocurrency projects, but over the last couple of years, as everybody's, I'm sure, has seen, the sentiment in the space has kind of turned to a negative in a way. Back in the day, you could invest into, a project and not worry about losing your money. Currently, there's a lot of scam tokens popping up, or there's a lot of little projects popping up that have a goal to reach 100K, and then, they rob their investors. So it was kind of during this time talking to the Huntsman, and during this time that I'm at RDub in the whale room, that we started talking about these issues in the space. And when we first started discussing it, I really wanted to launch on the ETH side. You know, I'm the ETH guy myself. I mean, I obviously invest in both chains, but I prefer Ethereum, and that's just where majority of my wealth is. But you know, getting to talk to RDub, you know, and talking about the same issues that we both experience in the space, we decided to move forward with the project. And I told RDub, look, I've got a contract code that's already written. I had it written in 21. It's been sitting on the shelf. Its name's SquidGrow. I kind of told him the story on that and how that came about and why I shelved it. And we decided that we would launch it. So we created a group, a Telegram group, and we're trying to decide if we're going to pre-sale or private sale. And at the end of the day, we just decided that we were going to just stealth launch it. And that's exactly what we did. And that first day, I believe we got up to 400K. And, you know, it was kind of off to the races after that. I brought RDub on as like my marketing guy, and he just crushed it. I mean, he made all the right moves. And, you know, SquidGrow is, you know, came about to just give investors like a safe place to invest their money. Obviously, you know, coming into it, the community doesn't know, you know, hey, can we trust these guys? You know, they're saying this or saying that. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to take advantage of anybody. I'm here to help people. I'm sorry, my phone was ringing. I'm here to help people. I'm here to give people the same experience that I had, you know, in Shiba Inu, getting into a solid project, growing it from the ground up, and taking it, you know, as far as we can take it. You know, obviously we can't predict, you know, the settlement in the space or what our investors are going to do, but I can assure you it's not going to be. My project's not going to fail from a lack of trying or spending. I can assure you that. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass it off.
Awesome, Shibatoshi. So yeah, I mean, did you learn some lessons from Shiba Inu? What worked, what didn't work, and you bring in all the best ideas that you've accumulated over the years with Shiba and launched SquidGrow?
Exactly. I'm running SquidGrow through the eyes of an investor. You know, that's why we have the approach that we do at SquidGrow. Like me personally, you know, the under promise over deliver that we preach at SquidGrow. Me as an investor, I cannot stand it when a project promises they're going to do something, or they have something on the roadmap, or they give a date that something's going to go live and it just gets pushed back, right? It's just always some kind of excuse or something comes up to where it's not delivered. So at SquidGrow, you know, we're not telling our investors what we're working on in the background. You know, if they're not expecting anything, you know, they're not going to be disappointed. But obviously, we're doing everything in our power to deliver, you know, on in every aspect. But you know, if we come out and, you know, we say, hey, XYZ is going to be done on this date, and we run into issues of whatever sort, and that date comes and goes, you know, we've misled our community, and there's a very strong possibility that we've caused hype to lead up to that, and now we're not delivering. So I mean, that's kind of my reasoning for running the project the way that we are. You know, I'm running it through the eyes of investors. What do I want to see? I want to see thick liquidity. That's why in the beginning, I had such focus on thick liquidity. What else do I want? I want CMC. You know, I want it immediately. And although we ran into some issues with CMC, the next thing I wanted to see was exchanges. So that's why we were listed on 2 exchanges within 3 weeks before we were even listed on CMC. I want utility, and I want staking to be unlocked. I don't want to have to vest my bag. That's why we offer our staking the way we are. So just kind of taking everything I've learned, like you said earlier, in the space, and looking at the project through the eyes of an investor and what it is I want. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a dev. I'm an investor. Now, I surround myself with devs to help us deliver on everything that we're working on. But you know, me personally, I'm just an investor, and that's really all I know. You know, what would I want in a project as an investor? You know, I'd want transparency. So anytime that we've ever ran into any issues within the project, we're transparent about it. You know, we come out with statements, we answer questions. You know, I just want transparency, honesty, and to know that the team is working, you know, in the background. So that's why we make the moves that we make and operate the way that we're operating.
Awesome, Shitoshi. And yeah, let's go into that. The LP, I'm wondering if it's unique in crypto. You've got 10% buy and 12% sell. It goes to the liquidity. Who came up with that idea? And like I say, is it unique in crypto?
Shitoshi. You may have dropped off. It's actually buy and sell taxes are actually 8 and 8. You may be reading that from our old white paper. It says 10 and 12. But yeah, our buy and sell taxes are 8% buy, 8% sell, and 100% is going to liquidity. Obviously, when Shitoshi comes back, he can expand on this. Shib, you might have to jump out and jump back in.
Can y'all not hear me?
We can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's my internet or kind of what's going on. But I was touching base on the tax as well. But for whatever reason, my Telegram's acting funny. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to leave and then come back and see if that fixes it.
Sure, mate. So they're 8 buy and 8 sell, and 100% is going to LP. Obviously, the reason that we're doing that is to strengthen our LP as much as possible, especially while we're getting to higher market caps as well. You know, this is extremely important, especially as we get into higher market caps, so that we can, you know, and Shitoshi will go into this in more depth as well. A lot of the bigger whales will not buy into projects that don't have, you know, an LP of a certain percentage as well. But it also comes back to the fact that we actually can put 100% of our taxes to LP, because the reason for this is because Shitoshi is paying for all of the marketing, all of the exchange listings, everything that you can think of out of pocket. And if he's back now, I'll let him kind of take over on that. Are you there, Shib?
Yeah. So as Arda was saying, currently our tax is 8.8 with everything going to liquidity. I've been paying for all marketing, all exchanges, every aspect. I've been executing buybacks off the chart. Those tokens go into our reserve wallet, which are used for exchanges and also our staking pools. So with the staking pools, our staking pools are not, the APY is not based on volume. We pre-feed the staking pools with X amount of tokens. So our stakers get their rewards regardless of what volume is. It's not dependent on chart volume, which is kind of cool in my opinion as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, can we go into the staking and how it works for investors? You were saying you're not a fan of locked staking, so it's not going to be locked staking. It'll be unlocked for investors, yeah.
Yeah, so we offer 2 forms of staking. We offer native coin staking, and currently we're offering 50% APY. There is no locking period. You can stake and unstake at your leisure. All you have to do is pay your gas fee. It's not auto compounding, which means that the tokens that you're accumulating are not automatically added to your bag. You have to actually go in and harvest your tokens. And then once you harvest those tokens, they get sent to your wallet, and then you got to go restake those tokens to compound them. Obviously, the more tokens you have, you know, the easier it is for you to accumulate more tokens. But yeah, it's not locked. Also, we are offering LP staking with our Squid BNB pair. Recently, there has been some issues of people doing Squid and Cake pair and creating an additional Cake LP pool. That is not the pair that we offer staking for. Our staking pair is Squid and BNB. So essentially with that, you go to Pancake Swap, let's say you have $1,000 in Squid and $1,000 in BNB, you create liquidity on Pancake using our pair, and it gives you Cake LP tokens. And once you get the Cake LP tokens and you've added the Cake LP contract address to your wallet, you go to our website and you stake the Cake LP for 500% APY. And again, it's there's no locking period. You can lock and unlock at your leisure. It is not auto compounding, as I said earlier, so you have to go in and harvest your tokens and then compound them yourself. But there is no locking periods at any day. You can actually, stake and come back, literally, a couple seconds later, because the rewards are paid out, every block, and you can see the amount of tokens you've made, and if you wanted to, you could unstake at that moment. So I mean, that's pretty cool. Me personally, I don't like, as I said, vesting periods or locking periods myself. Crypto space moves very fast. And I feel like investors should have access to their money at any given point. Things happen in life where, unfortunately, you might need access to money really quick. And, if, it's essentially like if you need, some extra money for a medical expense or an emergency, and you don't have it in the bank, but you have it in crypto and your money is vested, it doesn't do you any good. So in my opinion, you should have access to your money whenever you need it. So that's kind of, again, why we've taken the approach with our utilities that we currently have.
Awesome, Satoshi. Yeah, I agree. Like you say, investors might need to get access to the money, and if it's vested or locked for long periods of time, you won't be able to access it. And you've also got a lottery. 10% of each lottery pool's burned on every draw as well. I'm wondering what sort of prizes investors can make on the lottery.
Okay, so I'll touch base on the lottery. So currently, we are not offering the lottery. The story on that is, here at SquidGrow, we develop everything in-house on our contracts. The lottery contract was the one thing that I outsourced. It was a fork of the Pancake Swap lottery. We implemented it onto the website, and it was a big hit. Unfortunately, there was some malicious code in the contract that was allowing I guess the coder of the lottery to access people's wallets when they authorize it for Squid. So it was essentially, if you were spending $20 or you were authorizing the lottery to pull $20 in Squid tokens, you were essentially allowing it to pull the full balance. Fortunately for us, a majority of our community was staking tokens. I realized that there was something going on with the lottery. I notified my dev about it. We tracked it back, and we realized that there was over 50 other crypto projects that had been affected. Some of them actually losing millions and millions of dollars. So there was 11 people affected with us. Immediately tracked down everybody, put out an announcement, hey, anybody that's interacted with the lottery contract, please contact me. I got all 11 of these people in a room, verified that there was a loss. Some of them actually didn't even know that they had lost some tokens. Essentially, everybody was staked, so they would harvest the rewards from staking and touch their wallet, and it would get pulled. Fortunately for us, we were able to track it down very fast and got everybody to revoke access to their wallet. But we got everybody in a group, had them revoke access, and then I personally reimbursed everybody that was affected, and we took the lottery contract offline. And the total turnaround time to, noticing the issue to reimbursing everybody was about 3 or 4 days, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely unfortunate, definitely something we had to address. We put a statement out about it. Very fortunately for us, there was only 11 people affected, and I believe I think it was $23,000, I think, reimbursing everybody. So in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't very bad compared to some of the other projects that were affected. The developers of this project said they outsourced the code. The company is reimbursing the projects that were affected, but I didn't want to make my investors wait for that reimbursement. So as I said, I just went ahead and reimbursed everybody that was affected. And we took the lottery contract offline currently. Not saying that we won't bring one back. Obviously, when we do, we will have it personally audited ourselves instead of just reading a Surtech audit and believing that it's the same contract code that's not been altered, which is essentially what happened with us. But yeah, so currently we're not offering the lottery right now.
Okay, Toshi. Yeah, I think I've been reading one of the earlier white papers, so I wrote down mine. Will be accurate. But have you actually launched on central exchanges Bitmart, token, and Hotbit?
Yeah. So within our first exchange we launched was BKEX, and we did that, I believe, week 2. And our second exchange was Bitmart. And then I believe the way it worked out is we got listed on the Reflex swap. And then from there, I believe we got listed on CoinTiger, and we're listing on Dcoin tomorrow as far as exchanges go. And obviously we're in talk with multiple exchanges currently as well. With that being said, I went ahead and hired CLS Market Makers, which are one of the top 3 market making companies in the world. And I'm not sure if people are aware, but when you get onto these big exchanges, you have to have market making. It keeps the order books full. CLS, they are able to provide market making for all top 50 exchanges. So although they are very pricey, they're gonna be able to help us, achieve our long-term goals. So we went ahead and brought them on now. They're our current market makers on Bitmart currently, but they're able obviously to help us out with every other exchange we plan to land. So that's pretty big as well. Hope that kind of gives you insight into what our long-term goals are, with that.
Okay, awesome, Toshi. And are you planning to go cross-chain? You did say earlier on that ETH's your main blockchain that you're invested on there. You're looking to do cross-chain with the Ethereum blockchain in the future.
Yeah, so actually, we've already announced we're going to be bridging to the Ethereum, and unlike our other utilities where we don't announce it before it's actually live, right after launch, we started developing our bridge, and there came a point in time where I believe our liquidity was around $150,000. I was going to go ahead and announce the bridge because the bridge is done, and we went under DDoS attack, which took down our website. So we had to beef up our cloud flares to get our site back up. And with that being done, obviously we had a little setback. We couldn't finish the front end for the bridge. So I told my dev that let's take some additional time. Let's not rush it. Let's make sure everything's A1. And so we made some tweaking to the bridge, and talking to the team. The bridge is kind of a big thing, so I kind of wanted feedback from the community in regards to the bridge. So we brought it to the whales, and then we brought it to the community. We opened up a VC, and again, we only did that because we're 110% sure we can deliver on the bridge. As I said, the bridge is actually done. So essentially all we have to do is just launch the Ethereum contract. With that being said, I think it's kind of a good time to say that after, some consideration, I think we're going to wait until Ethereum 2 launches before we actually come out with the bridge, for the reason being that we don't want to be attached to Ethereum if there happens to be a major sell-off right at launch of Ethereum 2. We don't want it to pull us down. So with that being said, I think we are going to wait until the Ethereum 2 comes out before we actually make our bridge live. It's kind of uneasy, going into the Ethereum 2, not sure, kind of what will happen, because there could actually be an Ethereum sell-off, and people, selling to buy Ethereum 2. And I just don't want to be attached with our liquidity on that side. If it pulls down the price of Ethereum, it's going to start impacting things. So with that being said, I think we're going to actually, hold off until that time to actually drop the bridge. But everything is ready to go. And, we are continuing to work on different utilities in the background and different, talking to different exchanges and moving forward. We're running another set of billboards across the country for a week as well. Obviously, that's just to spread awareness of, the project. And, the community is doing an amazing job on that as well.
Okay, awesome. Satoshi, yeah, that was my next question. Actually, what are you looking at over the next quarter for the marketing for SquidGrow?
Well, that's
Dane?
kind of actually a question for Dane, but I will say, so as I said earlier, at SquidGrow, we kind of under promise, over deliver. We don't really get into the ins and outs of what we're working on in the background as far as marketing and different things. But with that said, I'll let Dane touch base on that. Dane is from the Blockchain Brothers. He is, well, I'll let him go ahead and give an introduction. Dane?
Yeah, so I should have said at the beginning, we actually partnered with SquidGrow really early. Blockchain Brothers is a DeFi-based marketing agency, much different than the traditional ones where you kind of have like a set schedule and they target more traditional advertising means. We actually sort of come in to work with the project at a very close level. We'll put in 20, 21-hour days with them, often covering all time zones. And we like to think outside the box when it comes to approaching the marketing. So a recent example of that was a lesser known platform by the name of Chingari, which basically is India's TikTok. They are, because TikTok is banned in India. So we recently got on there and we've been hammering away, and we've got something like 3 million views across our channel already in the course of like a few days. So there's things that you see traditionally done in DeFi marketing, like the typical exchanges, and then there's things you don't see. And that's where we like to come in and kind of fill that void and throw some shock factor in there. And that's just one of the examples. There's been a lot of other cool things that we've done, but as Satoshi said, we don't like to give things away prior to actually doing them. We've said a lot with exchanges about we're going to have a lot of those, and I can 100% confirm we're in talks with many of those. And in fact, it's crazy how many options we have. So I'm very excited to get on those and to help with that sense. But marketing in DeFi is something that you have to constantly do. You have to keep the momentum going. You have to fuel the fire, and in order to do that, you cannot let your foot off the gas. You have to plan things out in advance so that there's always something to roll out each day if you can help it. And you have to stay in tune with what your investors are seeing and thinking, as Satoshi mentioned at the beginning. And in order to do that, you have to be flexible, right? Because one day, what happens if Bitcoin dips again to the teens, or what happens if it pumps again to the 30s? You better be ready to react to that and come out with something to either prevent against the capitulation or to ride with the wave, right? So it's a very intense, in-depth thing. And you probably noticed at the beginning of this conversation how tired we all sounded. We'd actually all three just woken up within like 20 minutes of this AMA, and we're sort of having a little bit of brain fog there. And yeah, it's just a testament to the amount of time these guys have spent marketing, as well as dealing with DMs and project management, queuing up these plays. It's a nonstop ordeal, and putting in 20-hour days. Personally for me and the Blockchain Brothers, that's what we do. That's what separates us from others, is that we're willing to help a project do that. And I do think it is required. Whether you talk to SafeMoon, or whether you talk to Shiba or Floki or Saitama or any of these bigger meme coins that have come before us, the common story you'll find is that when they were having their huge run-ups, the marketing hands of those teams, they weren't sleeping. It was like every day you're in a battle. And it's a fun thing for sure, but it's one that you have to have a lot of passion and drive to do successfully. And from an outside perspective looking in, as I come in and analyze this project, and I've seen many successful ones, All the ingredients that you would want to see are there, and the energy, the passion, and the commitment to making this thing go, I think is unparalleled from what I've seen, at least from my perspective. And it's been a privilege so far to help these guys market. And I think anybody that's been in it can see that they've done a lot, to say the least. And we're ready to turn some heads even more in the coming weeks. This next week's going to be a real exciting one for us. And, I don't want to reveal too much, but yeah, I mean, I think I just look at people that sell right now and I'm just like, oh man, I feel bad for you.
Okay, great, Dane. Let's open it up to the rest of the team. If anyone's got a question for Shubtoshi or the team at SquidGrow, go ahead. No, we've not got any hands up, but yeah, we've had a lot of people joining the AMA in the middle here. If you could do a recap for us, Shubtoshi or Dane, about the SquidGrow project for anyone that joined in the middle of the AMA, that'd be great.
Hey, Dane, will you handle that for me?
Just a recap. Sorry, the question was just, can I give a brief recap? Is that right, Toshi? Glenn?
Sorry, yeah.
That's correct. My Telegram is really messing up right now.
Yeah, I was chopped too.
Dane, if you could give us a recap, over the SquidGrow project for any community investors that joined late in the AMA, that'd be great.
Sure. So, and just quickly, so SquidGrow right now, in my opinion, is the hottest meme token in the BSC space by far. You could potentially say it's the hottest new project in crypto at the moment from what I'm seeing out there. I mean, just to put in perspective, we passed Cloud Chat the other day, which most people know is one of the most successful projects of the year in market cap. So that's pretty cool. We've got a lot of hype behind us. And there's several reasons for that. It's the output from the team, it's the experience from the team, and it's Shubtoshi being coming out of into the limelight from, being basically one of the top 3 Shiba whales of all time, and essentially making arguably one of the best trades ever in crypto. So, having him at the head of this project definitely turns some people's eyes onto it. But what makes it even more, I think, amazing is that the dev team that we have in the background and the utilities that will be coming out are not just forked stuff. Like they, as Satoshi mentioned, they're all in house. So the top tier quality of the utilities that you're going to see, including the bridge as they roll out, will also make people's heads turn because he's brought in people around him that are some of the best in the space to help with things like that. And so, we've got the marketing powerhouse for sure, but you will also see utility powerhouse coming. And, there's a lot of community effort being put into, and that's probably my favorite thing to see is the commitment to helping other people in the community, from people that ask questions. There's always someone there, people that are shilling, rating. We have a DJ in the chat, Parker, that's there all the time. We also have a really, really healthy whales group that we do discuss a lot of things with. So that always helps when you have people that believe in the project and are holding for the long term. So again, as I mentioned, I see so many different ingredients and components of this project that make it extremely bullish, not only for the short term, to catch a quick couple X's, but also for the mid and long term. I do think this is one that will stand the test of time through the end of this bear market and position itself to be, absolutely massive, when things do turn a bit better.
Okay, awesome, Dane. We've got some hands up now, so I'll move to Squid Daddy. You have a question for the SquidGrow team. Go ahead. Are you there? Squid Daddy? No? Let's see. Syed, you had a question for the SquidGrow team. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, so I was just thinking that you could have gone with any theme for your meme token. So I was wondering that why did you decide to go with the Squid Game themes?
RW, you wanna address that?
Yeah, sure. So as Shubtoshi touched on earlier, the contract was actually written, far before we actually released the token. and it was around that time that the original Squid Game token came out, and I think we all remember what happened with the original Squid token, and we know that there is a bit of a negative connotation with the whole Squid thing, which probably is the reason that you're asking your question as well. But look, after many very long conversations between Shibtoshi and myself, we kind of spoke about it, and we thought, actually, well, the reason that we're launching this token is because we want to change the sentiment in the space, and we want it, we want people, investors in the BSC, to be able to actually come to a point where they can, trust a team, trust developers, without having that fear of rug pulls and honeypots and all of those things. So really, we kind of, we approached it head on, and we just thought, let's try and really actually change the entire, feel around this whole squid meme. And, that's exactly what we've done. And I think really looking at, what we've achieved so far and looking at our chart right now, I think it speaks for itself in that we are achieving that goal in, changing how people think of this whole squid meme. There was a really negative experience early on, but I think, the positive experience that people are able to have with SquidGrow is, completely shifting the whole idea of the squid meme.
Got it. Got it. Thank you for clearing that up. And I was also wondering that in future, do you have any plan of maybe developing a game as well related to Squid Game?
A game, is that what you said?
Yes, yes.
Look, as Shibtoshi said earlier, all of our utilities are built in-house, but the motto at SquidGrow is, under promise and over deliver. And that's what we've kind of lived by since we launched the token. All of the utilities that we've brought out to date, we've just dropped them on the community pretty much the moment that they went live, with the exception of the bridge. And that's how we're going to continue to operate moving forward. Like Shibtoshi said, it's one of the biggest things that annoys us in the BSC space. When you're in a token, you're in the Telegram, and you've got the dev there saying, "Oh, look, yeah, we're going to release this, and we're going to release it, 4 days from now. Everyone get really hyped," and then it comes to the time and nothing happens. And it's the biggest letdown, but it pumps the chart for the devs, and obviously they're happy about that. So it's really not the way we operate. So in terms of any future utilities, we're not going to announce them now. We're not going to talk about them. What I can say is that the utilities that we currently have live at SquidGrow, it's really only a start for us, and it's definitely not the end in terms of utilities for us. But I can't announce anything at this time.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. I can understand that.
With that
Thank
said,
you.
I just want to say this upcoming week's going to be a pretty exciting week for us. So I hope everybody is ready to go, because I'm very, very excited for this upcoming week.
Yeah, best of luck for that. One more question. You may already have discussed that. I may have missed that part. So I want to know that in future, do you have any plan of maybe integrating DAO governance?
Sorry, say that again.
He's wondering if we are implementing
Yeah.
a DAO. And same answer, man. We can't reveal anything like that at the time, just because that falls under the category of utilities that they mentioned. But yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. Thank you so much, and best of luck. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Syed. It's been great speaking to Satoshi, Dane, and Ardub today at SquidGrow. It's an awesome project. A pleasure to host you here at Wellcoin Talk with our community investors. As we always say for Wellcoin Talk community investors, AMAs are for research and educational purposes. It's not financial advice. You can check out the website, white paper, and the official socials in our main chat. And like I say, yeah, if you've got any questions after the AMA, I'm sure they'll be able to answer them over into. Is your Telegram the main place for people to hang out, or do you have a Discord as well, guys?
Yeah, Telegram at the moment. Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much for coming today. I'll finish the record and send over a copy for you to share with your community, and I'll send that into our main chat for our community investors to listen back to later.
Great. thank you for so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man. It's been a pleasure. And again, guys, just want to say, if anybody has any additional questions, the team's always reachable within the Telegram. So feel free to pop over there and shoot us a message. We are always answering DMs, so don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you very much for coming out and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.